Wagwan Collective, this is Rasta Gal, aka Angelic Empress. Welcome you to my channel. Just want to thank everyone loyal and new that has subscribed to the Family Vibe Tribe. Really appreciate everyone being a part of the Rasta Gal family and just enjoying this journey with me. Letting me be a part of yours on my channel. Thank you for continuously spreading the word, spreading the messages, encouragement to do so when you feel led for others to also receive. My channel is about opening your consciousness and awareness. Okay, personal growth within all areas of your life, but definitely, most importantly, I am here to raise your vibes. My gosh, let's ring the bell on that, collective. I ring the bell to clear the air, to clear and to send and to bless the energies within my collective as well as within me as I deliver this message, but also to cleanse the energy within my collective and my message so I can get my point across clearly. And I wanted to also say for everyone, this goes for all. Subscribed or not subscribed, tread lightly on my channel, okay, as you click on and listen. All right, so I'm an intunitive reader. If you didn't know, for the newbies, the OGs, the loyal ones know, I use everything around me before and after my message. I include everything that occurs, from the noise to just any inkling that I may feel as I give this message and channel. Also just use just whatever noises you hear in the background, I will include that in my message, okay, to emphasize. All right, so let me get into it. Thank you for sticking around for my brief intro. If you would like to know anything about me, check my bio and my channel somewhere on the page there, and you could just read more about me and what my channel is about and what to expect eventually. Thank you for bearing with me, collective. So we're going to go ahead into my dreams and downloads, the channelings there. I'll be channeling just within this message, and then I'll go over synchronicities and signs, okay, to emphasize more on my message. I may feel the collective's energy as I deliver. I will definitely share, but also this goes off of my experiences that I share with you from time to time on my messages, and just, yeah, definitely just what I've experienced, okay? All right, so you see the church symbol in the background. This definitely is pertaining to a message of the spiritual and of the religious energies I was feeling. Now, this was happening before the Lion's Gate. I was feeling these energies, I would say 3 days before the Lion's Gate occurred. And actually, let's see. Yeah, this is Saturday. So this is the full moon, as well as I'm delivering this message. So 3 days before the Lion's Gate and the full moon, okay? That is today. I'm recording this on August 9th, okay? 2025. So the church energies, let's go into my dreams. So I was feeling this, I would say a week or two, maybe 3 weeks ago. Again, threes could be significant in this message. The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, what it could pertain to. It could pertain to Trinity. It could pertain to just a lot of things. Judgment happens in threes. You know, when people are wishing not so good things, or you're wishing the best, it comes in threes. So 3 can be very significant, again, in this message. I heard wolfhounds going off. It was like an alarm. And no, literally it wasn't an alarm that went off on my phone. It was like in my dreams. It was of hellhounds, wolfhounds. Could have been wolves. Again, it missiled off. It sounded the alarm. It sounded the alarm. It just was howling. Okay. Within my spirit and soul, energies were knocking to get in. You see the church doors here? You know, this was reminding me of that confirmation. It was reminding me of that movie, Sinners. And when the preacher was saying to his son that wanted to go into the world and be of the world, to share his talent, and just to step out of the box, out of the norm, out of the religiousness of his life, possibly out of the religious cults. I could be speaking to occults, speaking about occults, speaking about, covens, speaking about just outside or third parties that are involved in religious occults or covens. But in regards to the Sinners movie, I referred that movie before. The preacher father was saying to its son that wanted to go out and play, to his heart and soul is content. He said that he will be playing the music for the enemy, the music for the devil, and you will be calling that in. If you play out there outside the church's doors, outside the church, outside of our religious teaching and norm. Okay. So he preached and prophesied, and pretty much I felt like he put that energy on his son, that curse on his son. I'm referring to black sheeps and generational curse breakers. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because collective, you could have been brought up in a religious type of background, household, and you've been born and raised in that type of household that shows on the outside how perfect and religious they are. But inside the house was full of wickedness and was of the devil. Collective, you possibly saw a lot of unrighteousness occurring to you, experienced that, seen it within your parental figures that you called your parents, that raised you. You've seen it unfair and unjust being done to them individually, maybe within their shadow self, within themselves. You saw the demons that has risen, that was within them, within the household. You've seen unjust and unfair things that they were doing individually with other people. Okay, how they carried about and went about showing love or affection to each other. It was unrighteous. It was unjust. How they were possibly, again, planting seeds in your mind, in your heart, in your soul of this is what you should be doing. This is how you should be living. What goes on in a house stays in a house. We're raising a religious house. Outside world see us as a perfect, tight-knit family that is full of the Holy Ghost. But you know, collective, if you was that special child in your younger years, you know that the family you were under the parental figures that you were raised under, the religious background or setting that was all supposed to be Christified and holified in the church. You realize, collective, you were around demons. You was around witches. You was around warlocks. You was around beasts. And you probably didn't use those words back in the day. But in your soul and spirit and within your eyes, you saw the devil's work within your household, within your home. You experienced and fought, and you didn't know the words to use at the time, but you was experiencing spiritual attacks. You was experiencing astral projections from those energies that was roaming in the house, that was roaming within your parental figures. If you had siblings involved, your parental figures were religious, but nowadays you're realizing that you was raised by narc parents, okay? Narcissistic parents that showed the outside world, gaslighted, love bombed the outside world of them again being sanctified and holified, filled with the precious Holy Ghost. But they were filled with demons. They were filled with witchery. They were filled and sanctified and clothed and deep in the voodoo, deep in the things of the world. They were literally bringing that in the home that was supposed to be filled with the Holy Spirit. Instead, it was filled with demonic ghosts. Collective. Our home and our house is supposed to be our sanctuary. This church here that you see in pictures of, when you went into the church, is supposed to be your sanctuary. You've possibly, as a child, was raised and that was introduced and welcomed to you, the church. That was probably your sanctuary back in the day. Churches are not like they used to be before as you was growing up. If you grew up in the 70s, 80s, churches were definitely different. You definitely felt safe, possibly. Again, the church was your sanctuary. Or maybe it wasn't. Take this message however it may pertain to you. Okay. Again, religiousness, the spirituality, was all forming as you was growing and learning. Okay. You were born and raised in a church, possibly. This may not pertain to everybody. Or just the religion. It was just, you was around that, or you was learning about that if you wasn't raised in a church. What I mean by that is you affiliated, you being associated, you going to church. That was part of the routine. That was part of your livelihood. Okay, I'm speaking from experience that you've went through, you possibly have gone through. And you felt church was your sanctuary. You felt safe. You felt possibly, collective, more safe in church than at your own home. That's supposed to be your sanctuary and your safety. You possibly were fighting battles that wasn't even yours. You was fighting the demons and the battles and the projections and the spiritual attacks that you was receiving or seeing as a young child. I can relate. So going back to my dream, I heard hellhounds. And they were signaling energies that was trying to come in. Or it could have been the wolves again. Possibly dogs could be an omen for you if you have a dog, or if you have a wolf dog, that could be an omen to you. Maybe you're seeing those pictures. If you don't have pets, you were seeing those pictures as omens. Okay, that's telling you that that could be a spiritual animal, the spiritual animal world that's protecting you, watching over you. Again, vampiric, parasitic energies, okay, is always trying to attach themselves to an empath, always trying to attach themselves to the light, always wondering or always wanting to welcome themselves into your energy and aura field, into your home. You got to be careful who you bring into your home. Who you call your friend, who you call your family, if they're blood or not. Who you call your lover. Because you don't know what energies or entities, demons they are fighting or battling with, or that they're carrying on their back, like a monkey on your back. You don't know what people are battling, what they're not sharing with you, what they're not telling you, what they have done, what they're doing behind the scenes. But they want to welcome that energy into your home. They want to be a part of the family. They want to, again, be a part of your life, into your world, into your energy. You got to be careful. This message is about using your discernment and intuition. I'm opening up your awareness, your consciousness right now. Maybe you have been born and raised around those type of energies so you can pick up on it. Possibly you've been a victim of narcissism early on within your younger years. Or you could be a victim of that now. Collective, you could be a survivor of that at this time. You escaping the devil's grip, the devil's hand. You're escaping the religiousness of how you've been born and raised. You're escaping and you're releasing of that energy that was projected on you, you've been raised and conditioned to do, conditioned to learn. You was just raised in that type of energy or field. That type of wickedness, that type of atmosphere and environment. And you was just taking notes. If you wasn't physically writing in your journal or writing to yourself, you was mentally taking notes. You was seeing things with your eyes, feeling it from your heart, deep down into your core of your soul, the pit of your soul. Okay, and you was experiencing these things for a reason. And it was harsh. It was wicked. It was hard. It was a war. It was a battle that you had to face within your own home, let alone within yourself. Collective. So again, my spirit animals and whatever realm I was on, I was hearing within my dreams. Okay, my ancestors and spirit guides is from all realms. And they would do anything by any means necessary to protect me. So they was signaling the alarm, letting me know of unwanted energies, let me know of unwanted trying to come in. vamps. Okay, and you know they're not welcome here. No unwanted energies, not welcome here. Unless you let them in. How you can tell energies are trying to come in when you have blocked them off. You will hear a knocking at your soul. We have a spirit, we have a soul, and we have a body. And it will sound like knocking at the door, but so hard and so daunting type of knocking where it echoes. Those are energies trying to come into your energy and aura field, into your soul, into your spirit. Trying to penetrate your spiritual protection is what was going on. This was happening 3 days before the lion gate and the full moon. So you see the title there. Sinners. Sweating like pigs in a church. I came across that title, and when I thought of that title, I laughed. Sweating like sinners in a church. Squilling like sinners in a church. I thought of, again, the movie Sinners, but also thought of Princess and the Frog. I don't know, collective, I felt like a love situation is occurring in the background. And I felt like when I heard that saying, okay, it was from a Caucasian woman that said that. Anybody could have said that. But when I thought of it, I was like, that is true. People be sweating when you be praising, when you be releasing of energies, transmuting the energies. Again, these words I'm using, I didn't use back in my day. But I could feel the spirit. I could feel it in church. People that was going through some deep core issues that needed healing, that needed to be sanctified, that needed to be cleansed. They needed to be pure and rejuvenated. Releasing all that energy in the church into the spiritual realms. To be free, to feel free. But yet went back into the world to be of the world, doing worldly things. Back in the day, a lot of hypocrites, a lot of demonic energies, a lot of voodoo priests or priestess, a lot of witches and warlocks, they'd be in the church. Start in the church. They put on that mask. They be in a church. People that need to be healed from their demonic or demons, be in the church. You don't just have clean, sanctified Christians, whatever religion you're serving, that be in the church. You literally have the devil sitting in the church. The devil could be the preacher. Confirmation. The devil could also be the preacher, collective. That is preaching. They can be the minister. They can be the usher. They can be the mother or father of the church. They could be of anybody in the church. No one is exempt from the darkness. As you being a child, you being full of light, and you're seeing those energies. I don't know, it just does something to the dark energies and the people that's full of it. It happened when you were younger, collective. Them being attached and attracted to your light, or couldn't stand your light, couldn't stand who you was and who you are. They wanted to torment and torture you. whether it was physical. This may be triggering message, or so it's warning. Whether it was physical, whether it was verbal, whatever may have occurred, it was a spiritual warfare. It was spiritual battles you were dealing with and going through. And if you wasn't in a church, you wasn't religious, you wasn't spiritual, again, you were just facing a lot of demonic energies, possibly. No household is exempt from being a perfect household, living under perfect parents and just everything perfect. No, that's not realistic. That is not reality. There's always a duality of the light and dark. And what you had to go through, what you had to face, what has brought you this far was experiences that you went through. And it wasn't easy. Trust me, I know. You're possibly still healing from that, collective. And you're almost there with the healing part. Continue to let the healing occur. My gosh. What you have been born and raised to do, you possibly are realizing this was a contract you signed a long time ago. You're thinking, maybe praying and asking, was this the contract I signed before I came into this situation? Been born and raised into this environment, atmosphere around these people? This was the contract that we all signed. We signed up for. If you look at it in a bigger and broader perspective, to raise you up to where you are and to who you are right now. It raised you up to be a strong ass soldier in the higher realms, whoever you serve, in the Lord, whoever you serve. It raised you to be strong. It raised you to be a warrior. It raised you to be a soldier. It raised you to be graceful, but as well as grateful. I kept hearing the song that I was channeling. It's a Christian song. It's called, or a gospel song. It's called Gratefulness. Grateful, grateful, grateful is flowing from my heart. Gratefulness. You keep humming that and singing that and saying that. My gosh, that will uplift your day. That will uplift your spirit if it is down. Again, I'll have that channeling song down below. Why I gave you that dream and download, because the energies that you've been facing and battling, again, you're transmuting, or how you can transmute that is telling God and telling the universe how grateful you was able to, and graceful, merciful, that the universe put upon your life, the strength that they gave you, the warrior energy that they gave you. This was training. This was for some massive training you went through, severe training you went through that could have ended you, that you survived, collective. My gosh, let me ring the bell on that. Yes, there is hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope that you have been filled with, mercy that you've been filled with, belief that you can get through things. That has trained you and helped you within your adult life at this time to get through other trials and tribulations you went through along the way. And I'm sure it made you say, if I got through stuff within my childhood, I'm sure a lot of people say that, I can get through this shit. I can get through the muck and the mud. I can get through the dirt. I can get through the sands. I can get through the water. I can get through this. And what do? You get through it. You don't run from it. You go through it to get out of it. You was equipped for training. You was equipped for the life that you're hoping and wishing and want to create. If you're not creating it now, you're hoping and wishing and you're going to create for yourself, no matter how long it takes. No matter what demonic forces or energies try to keep you away from or try to distract you from. You're seeing it from a mile away. Around the corner, you're seeing when you're trying to move forward, when you're growing, when you're accelerating, when you're ascending, when you're rising higher. You're going through ascensions. You could see the devil right around the corner. You could see that demonic energy in someone that's trying to come at you. In all areas of your life, you pinned it, you see it, you sense it, you feel it, you know it. I know this energy from before. I know you. And you're not just speaking to the person, you're speaking to that entity that's in them. And you're saying to them, I know of you. I could smell you. I could see it on you. I could just feel it on you. You're not no good. They say in my country, bad mind. You're not no good. Bad mind people. Bad mind energy. You know when someone's not good. Okay? How? Just how they make you feel. I'm eating a Halls. My throat wasn't feeling this way until I was about to deliver a message. So I know this message needed to come out. My throat started to get a little scratchy. So I slipped the Halls in before I began my message. And I sprayed a little bit. But I declared on leaving this message, because I'm speaking of a situation, a scenario, an event, some experience that someone may have gone through in their life from my experiences, or just from me speaking on behalf of the collective, sharing with you. From that picture earlier, it looked like an eye on one side and then the sun was shining on the opposite side. So the universe is watching everything we went through over our years, over our time, over our lifespan. They're watching and they're shining a light on everybody that played a part in equipping you, played a part on training you, played a part on how they were treating you, abusing you, or how they were loving you and treating you correctly, lovingly, treating you with unconditional energy, unconditional love. The universe was watching who was real and who was fake on your behalf, collective. And over the years, you learned the difference between authenticity and fakeness, realness, falseness. You learned over the years people that were hypocrites, claiming to be righteous, but full of the devil, or they were full of light. That was my dream. So you could be sensing the vampiric energy. I've been hearing that in past messages from other tarot readers. Before this 8/8 portal came through and a full moon came through, I feel like during this full moon time, this is the time to release and to forgive yourself. This is a time to go into introspection, to do some recapping on yourself, on your energy, reflecting, letting go, giving things to the universe or to God, giving things to the ancestors, letting them just take full control of the situation. But as a soldier, as a warrior, in the spiritual realms or in the Lord, whatever you call yourself, you're going to continue to defend and protect yourself by any means necessary, whether you're speaking out, speaking up, whether you put an action to what you're saying, action to what needs to be done, as long as it's not bringing harm to you or to no one. You're standing up for yourself and you are looking for justice, expecting justice to occur in your favor in all areas of your life. You're going to stand up as that soldier and warrior in the Lord, and you're going to do what's right, what you deserve. You want things to be done equally. You want your equal part or share. Whatever you could be going through, collective. You're calling on peace. You're calling on love that is unconditional. You're calling on joy. You're calling back your energy and your life. You're speaking again life into death situations. You're shining a light on those demons by speaking up and putting actions to what you say, because what you say is what you mean, collective. The knocking is referring to the demonic energies knocking at your enemy's door. Blocking them by any means necessary out of your energy or field. You're calling on your answers to do that. Ancestors. Okay? Again, there could be a love situation occurring in your life. If you're not going through it now, you could be going through that in future time. And the way that Princess and the Frog occurred, that's probably how you could be living your life. Possibly. You could be a king or a queen in the spiritual realms, let alone on the 3D realms. People are trying to hide your identity. Because you're finding your own identity, you're loving yourself and being yourself, coming out of the darkness into the light, you're justifying your emotions and how you feel. It is justified. But you're transmuting and releasing that in your own way to bring in peace, to bring in clarity, to bring love and joy the right way in your life. You're shining your light in the darkness. You're shining your light on these demonic energies by speaking up, by bettering yourself. I'm telling you, collective, judgment is occurring. Justice will be served. Judgment is occurring on the people in the past, people of the present that didn't do their part, that misused you, that abused you, whether it was mentally, emotionally, physically, or verbally. Justice is occurring. On your behalf, collective, if you are in the right side of the scales. My gosh, collective. So people are sweating right now because you are doing better for yourself. They expected you to be in a crazy house. They're expecting you to be just in a corner on the streets like a homeless person. Maybe you have experienced that. Now you got out of it by the grace of God. My gosh, they are sweating like sinners in church. The vamps and the demonic witches and warlocks that they are sweating. I could be speaking to your enemies that sweats a lot. They have a scent or odor on them that you never could just put your finger on. They have a scent and odor that just make your body and your energy cringe. My gosh. What they smell is what their soul, deep to their core, is. If they're smelling like a dog that's been outside, from their breath onto their body, they're a freaking dog to the core. My gosh, collective. Everything that you have gone through from the past to the present at this time, with everybody in your life that you have experienced, whether it was for the good or the bad, whether it was for a season, whether it was for just a lesson or a blessing, whether it's for a lifetime. All this was experience you had to go through, you had to learn from. That helped you, equipped you, moving forward, moving on with your life. That saying, once you know better, you continuously do better, from learning from the experiences. I don't even want to call them mistakes. They were experiences. Collective. And it made you wiser, hopefully. Another channeling energy I was feeling, I actually heard the show Wheel of Fortune. I used to watch that with my grandparents. They played shows like that. And I said, my gosh, the Wheel of Fortune is going in my favor. I'm claiming that in Jesus' name. The Wheel of Fortune could be going in your favor, collective. Okay, if you're on the right side of the scales. I smiled when I heard that game because, again, it brought me to like a nostalgic type of energy from when I was younger and what I've observed. I observe my surroundings. I'm like that now, constantly always observing my surroundings and my stance in the surroundings and just how I feel and what's occurring around me, how it makes me feel. And that's how I've always been. I've been very cautious type of energy. But I heard Wheel of Fortune before the 8th portal came out. Again, which was yesterday. And another show that came on, I could hear the bells now. Family Feud. That show came on too. And I was like, yeah, family in the background is feuding because of your Wheel of Fortune, collective. This may not pertain to everybody, so take it if it pertains to you. But if you know you're on the right side of the scales, you know you're moving forward with your life, you didn't let your outside environment break you, but it made you, collective. And you know you're going to receive your Wheel of Fortune. You're claiming and expecting that. Okay? Of course, your family feud. There's going to be a family feud. In the background, scheming. Watching, snooping. Plotting, planning. My gosh. But again, no man can curse, even no demon can curse and stop anything that the universe / God has for you, especially if it's pertaining to your Wheel of Fortune, collective. That's what I heard. And you know the topic that I heard that stuck with me? Someone's name could start for S or a H or a W. What is it? Princess and a Frog, or a P or a F. Or I think I said a S already. I heard or a C, because I'm talking about church. They said, name a good place, a safe, good place where you could find a bad boy. You can meet a bad guy at. I forgot the third answer they had, but immediately I said church. Everybody was getting it wrong. And I laugh because that's the least place you would think a bad boy would be. Trust me, they're there. I said church right away. Nobody said church, so when it dang to turn over, church came out and everybody was shocked and surprised. Not I. Not I. They also mentioned jail. I said I thought of that. I thought of police, the penitentiary, safe, a good safe place. Yeah, jail. You could find a bad boy, of course. But they didn't expect church. My gosh. So that definitely, again, plays a significance in this message. Definitely watch your surroundings and who you find and where you find your person. And really ask your spiritual realms to help you tap in and just guide you along your way with people, places, and things you come encounters with, who you include in your life. You know that saying, they say keep your friends close but your enemies closer? Yes, collective, that's what I'm talking about. This is the energy I was feeling 3 days ago. For sure. Collective, you know the message I left maybe 2-3 videos ago when I got that download song, Take Me to Church, I can worship like a dog. And this is when I also got those dreams and downloads from that time. So probably longer than 3 days ago, I was feeling these energies. But I'll have that song down below. It was another song that I channeled along with that video previously. Oh, I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. So these energies, again, people from your past and present, that's what they're saying. And they're going to be on their knees praying to the universe, to God himself during the time of judgment. They're going to be saying that, I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. But the blame is going to be on them because of how much damage they've done, and also the blame game that they placed and put on you. And these are of the negative Bettys and Dennies and just the narc energies, the vamps, the warlock and witches that are doing things behind doors, behind a closet, in the woods, overseas and countries. They're going to be saying, don't put the blame on me, but they're going to have a lot of blame to face during judgment time. They're going to be saying, take me to church for me to worship, cleanse me whole and make me brand new. It's going to be too late because they're going to be crying for mercy on deaf ears to the universe, collective. Literally going to be saying that to the devil that they've worshipped, that they've paid practitioners for, that they've put you on altars for. Whatever energy or entity or demon they summon, they're going to be saying that to that energy and entity. Take me to church and I will worship like a dog. And they're going to be dragging those energies and people, places, and things like a dog in chains, collective. I'm so serious. This is what I'm seeing in my third eye. Whatever entity they worship as their king, as their master, they're going to be drugged by that king and that master and entity. I'm so dead serious. So yes, collective, that was my message. I was giving you something to think about. You could be seeing number synchronicities of ones, 1111, 711, twos, sevens, fours. Also seeing 000. You're going through a reset. You could be seeing these number synchronicities. You know, you're getting a chance to do over, start over. Again, your mind and energy is going through a reset about yourself and working on yourself. You could be of the 144. I was seeing that number a lot as well. Okay. Other names I saw, it was very biblical. I saw Thor, Joseph, David. I saw those names. Okay. I also saw Linda a lot. And author. Okay, when I thought of author, I thought of an author, like a book writer. Maybe writing is significant in this message. You becoming a writer, collective. Maybe writing your journal will help you express yourself, help you release and relieve the energy. Okay. David was a king. Joseph was a prophet, I believe. Thor is a thunder god of the weather. So these are some powerful energies I felt, again, 3 days before the 8/8 portal and this full moon. You could be a prophet, collective. Again, you could be a king or queen in the spiritual realms. Okay, if you're not in the physical. Or you could be a king or queen I'm speaking to that can relate to this message, collective. That was my downloads and channelings and dreams that I wanted to share with you, and my message. I will also have that channeling song down below, that gospel song. I'm telling you, sing that whenever you need to uplift your soul, mind, and spirit and body. I'm telling you, it will pick you up. Thank you again, collective, for sticking around, listening, tapping into my message. Share this with those that needs to hear. This was a deep message, chilling message, a reflection, a message of reflection type of energy, a message of continuously persevering, on your spiritual journey, on your love journey, throughout your personal growth type of journey message that I hope gave you, some insight and just inspiration to continue moving forward in spite of the odds or the ops or the opposition or the adversity. Continue moving forward, growing like that lotus flower. My gosh, I will leave a message in regards to the lotus flower. In the meantime, on another message, thank you for sticking around to listen till this far. If you have gained any healing, insight, or just it raised your vibes and your spirit and soul, give me thumbs up if you can relate. Share this again with others so I can do the same for them. And stay tuned and stick around for more messages. Till next time, this is Rasta Gal, aka Angelic Empress. Stick around and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.